From Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut, this is The Pulse.
Hello, my name is Tamarik Wilson.
And I'm Chelsea Montani. Thanks for joining us. Before we begin, let's start off with In the News.
2016. It's not only a leap year, but also an election year. So far, the campaign has been full of surprises and thought-provoking statements from the candidates. As the election begins to draw closer, primary season is now in full swing. On February 9th, New Hampshire, the second stop of the campaign trail, hosted its primary. For more information on the results of the primary, we go to Emily Archacki for the story.
The surprising results of the Iowa caucus last week crowned Ted Cruz the Republican winner, and Hillary Clinton narrowly defeated Bernie Sanders. Now the country is eager to see the results of New Hampshire's contest. Only days before the primary, debates were held in the state. On February 4th, Clinton and Sanders faced off. The remaining 9 Republican candidates took the stage on February 7th, where performances led to rising and falling fortunes in the polls only 2 days before the contest. In the end, Donald Trump was declared the Republican victor with 35.3% of the vote, followed by Governor Kasich with 15.8%. Kasich did well in the debate and surprised with high numbers despite his poor performance in Iowa. Ted Cruz had 11.7%. Marco Rubio, who finished third in Iowa, finished with only 10% of the vote in New Hampshire. On the Democratic side, Bernie Sanders swept New Hampshire, earning 13 delegates and 60% of the vote. Following the New Hampshire primary on February 10th, 2 candidates dropped out. Governor Chris Christie and Carly Fiorina suspended their campaigns after receiving a combined 11% of the vote in New Hampshire. Now the contest moves south and west, where the South Carolina primary and Nevada caucus will be the next 2 major contests on the road to the National Convention in July.
Thanks, Emily. I had the opportunity to ask members of the Sacred Heart community their reactions and opinion on the primary results.
So how I feel is I expected Bernie to win the Democratic slot, and I didn't really expect Trump to win his slot, but Ted Cruz had a very poor showing compared to the rest of the Republicans. I myself want Bernie to win, and I'm happy with Hillary voters that went to his side because Hillary's usually won New Hampshire.
To tell you the truth, I was a little bit surprised. I'm from Boston, so I've lived my whole life in New England pretty much, and I've always thought the New Hampshire primaries would always kind of point out sort of some pragmatic politics, so that a lot of the emotional politics you get maybe in a place like Iowa, you don't see in New Hampshire.
People should take a history lesson and look at the last businessmen that tried to run the country and look at their approval ratings, like President Harding. It's different from being a businessman and worrying about deficit spending, especially from a guy who went Chapter 11 bankrupt 4 times. Not a good nomination, to my mind. Not a good candidate.
I kind of like Bernie Sanders just because he's kind of crazy. He reminds me of Larry David. And I saw a video of him playing basketball recently, and he knocked down a bunch of shots, so I thought that was pretty cool too.
Personally, I think that I expected different results yesterday based off of the Iowa caucus, and I was a little bit disappointed. Personally, I'm a Democrat, so I was rooting for Hillary, and Bernie kind of just came in and stole the show. I was really crossing my fingers that a different candidate would come in and maybe knock Trump down a few more steps, but now I'm really concerned about the other primaries and seeing how he's going to do. And
You know, I find it really surprising. I'm from New Jersey, and Chris Christie is actually suspending his campaign for the time being, going back, so it'll be really interesting to see what he brings.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you're keeping up with the election, though. A lot of people, when I asked them if they watched the primary or not, didn't even know what a primary was, which is kind of sad.
Yeah. Our first story today focuses on the Horizons program at Sacred Heart. It allows children from low-income families within the surrounding area the opportunity to better themselves for the future. What types of programs and services does Horizons offer? Alessandro Sotaro brings us more on the story.
What's so bad?
The Horizons program at Sacred Heart University gives underprivileged Bridgeport kids the resources they need to better their lives and become future leaders. Many families in the city of Bridgeport suffer from financial burdens. The kids who participate in the Horizons program come from families that average under $30,000 in household income.
Working with the university to build relationships and to use the campus to our advantage and make us the heart of Sacred Heart.
We have this acronym we call CARS, and the idea is that you have 4 wheels on a car and you really move forward. The CARS stands for C, is for creative arts, which is really very empowering for young people to get involved with and express themselves and really build their mental capacity and creativity. The A is for academics, and that's really the core and heart and soul of the program. Our whole objective is that kids will be reading above grade level. When you're reading above grade level, it helps you with your entire academics support system. R is for recreation, and we teach every child how to swim. We do martial arts, and the kids really learn discipline and respect and building their own capacity. And now we're doing a program with golf. We like to look at things that the kids can do that maybe normally they wouldn't get a shot to do.
Horizons creates a welcoming atmosphere that involves inviting families to support their children throughout their journey within the program. Sacred Heart students share a great involvement in the program's success.
All of these students, that are in college that want to do good work, they're at Sacred Heart, not just because Sacred Heart is good academically, but Sacred Heart has a heart. We like to be a place where the kids in Sacred Heart, the students of Sacred Heart, could come and give back. And those students make a huge impact.
Horizons is a place where students of Sacred Heart University give back to the community and help inspire these Bridgeport youth.
Each year we have an admissions process, which starts in January, and it's mainly for our kindergartners. We enroll a new kindergarten class. We increase every year to another grade. So they would fill out the application and submit the materials, and the admissions committee, which is made up of the board members of the Horizons SU program, review all the application materials, and they make the decision in April.
In the city of Bridgeport, we have some families that are living below the poverty level, and that's where we focus on reaching those families. All of our kids are from families that make under $30,000 as household income. So we look for kids that really, and their families that really need the support and are enthusiastic and excited to really step up and make a difference in their lives.
This is Alessandra Sotaro in Fairfield reporting for The Pulse.
Thanks. For students of the legal drinking age, there are many locations off campus where one can enjoy a drink and hang out with friends. For Sacred Heart students, Red's Pub offers the chance to escape the worries of college life and much more. Here's Philippe Labato with the report.
For the 21-year-olds here at Sacred Heart University, there's many things to do outside of the campus. However, for the past 4 years, there's only been one place that has been able to give us everything and more.
As a student coming to Reds, it's definitely one of the better things on campus. You can't beat cheap drinks and great food, and I love that Reds itself goes above and beyond to fit the atmosphere for the students with like bands and trivia night and stuff like that. It's a great time, but it's you come down here and you can't not smile and just enjoy the atmosphere while you're here.
Like the atmosphere around here, people, all the beers on tap, all the TVs that they have showing sports games.
I really like Reds because I enjoy their tater tots and hanging out with my friends.
I like that they give you alcohol for cheap.
I love coming to Reds and hanging out with my friends and having everybody be here.
And I love coming to Reds for the french fries and beer.
Natalie DiGennaro, a grad assistant for Student Union, makes a lot of decisions when it comes to the beers at Reds.
We choose our beers based off what the students enjoy. So Bud Light, Shock Top, and Angry Orchard are our top 3 sellers. So we always keep those on. As far as the other beers, we work with distributors to find out what the new and upcoming beers are, what is selling really well for them, and we test it out down here and we kind of compare it to what the students like. So if they are liking the IPA range, we stick with IPA beers. If they're drinking pale ales, we stick with that. So we kind of test their taste buds and go with that.
Once a month on a Wednesday, Senior Pub Night is held at Reds. Senior Pub Night is for all full-time undergraduate seniors graduating in May 2016. The themes, food, and even the decorations are put up by the Student Government Class of 2016 board. The event is usually very successful and a great time for all who attend.
It's fun working at Student Government, setting up the pub nights, because we know what everyone's going to be excited for when we're setting it up, and then it's exciting for us.
It's also fun deciding what the themes for each pub night is going to be, and also choosing
what kind of food we're going to serve.
So whether you're coming down here to grab a quick drink after class or coming down here to catch up with an old friend, Reds will always have their door open for you with a warm smile and a cold beer. This has been Felipe Lobato with The Pulse.
When we return, we'll take a look at the latest counseling group offered by Health and Wellness Center. Stay tuned.
This year's challenge is all about the old and the new at SHU.
It's about bringing together alumni with current SHU students.
Showing just how true it is that once a pioneer, always a pioneer.
And once again, alumni Gary and Mary Ann Levin are back to challenge SHU students, matching your donations dollar for dollar up to $12,500. So, Sacred Heart, what do you hope for the future of SHU?
Hey everybody, it's Kevin Nealon. Can you believe Sacred Heart University, this campus? I don't even recognize it. When I went here, back in the 1900s, all they had was a guard gate.
When I come back to school as an alum, I hope to see the fashion program more developed and expanded into a major.
The new media and communications facilities on campus are outstanding. From the TV studios to the green screen room. I wish we had facilities like this when I was an undergrad.
Me and Big Red hope to see Sacred Women's Ice Hockey team playing on an ice rink on campus.
As a Sacred Heart alumni, I'm excited to see the new Health Professions building and the impact it will have on the SHU community.
When I come back as a SHU alumni, I'm looking forward to see a bigger and better facility for the basketball program.
I hope to come back as an alumni here at Sacred Heart University and see how tremendous the pre-med program has grown.
We always talked about how we wanted a new locker room and a new field. And now these guys finally have it, so I'm pretty happy for them.
The Frank and Marissa Martiri Business and Communication Center is top of the line, and what students are able to experience inside of it now is truly mind-boggling. If it was here when I was an undergraduate, I know how fortunate I would have been. And mentor and mold our students moving into the workforce today is truly an exceptional experience.
Coming back as a Sacred Heart alumni, I'm looking forward to golf and Sacred Heart athletics becoming better as a whole.
When I return to Sacred Heart University as alumni, I want us to be known for our performing arts program, especially the theater major that we just got.
Back when I was a freshman, the pub didn't mean much to me at all. Now that I'm an alumni at SHU, Reds has created a tradition that'll last a lifetime.
When I come back to SHU as an alumni, I'm hoping to see that the dance program has expanded and that there's a new facility for us to use.
When I come back to Sacred Heart University as an alumni, I want to see that there's been lots of growth in Greek life.
Back in 1975 when I graduated, this was called the CAP. Now it's called 63. It's among many of the wonderful changes to the campus, some small, some big, all fantastic.
We, the Forever Pioneers, donated. Now it's your turn. We challenge you to give to the future of SHU.
Welcome back to The Pulse. The Health and Wellness Center offers a wide selection of counseling services and support groups to the members of the Sacred Heart community. A brand new group, Shameless, provides support for students with family members who deal with addiction. Nicole Granito brings us the story.
For many students, Sacred Heart University is a home away from home, but for some, it is more difficult to leave the challenges at home behind.
It is a group for students on campus who are adult children of alcoholics or addicts, or have a brother or sister or perhaps a significant other who's an alcoholic or an addict.
The university's Health and Wellness Center offers a variety of counseling services and support groups. The latest group, called Shameless, was started by Janice Kessler.
The reason we decided to run the group is because I was noticing in my office, and some of the other counselors were noticing in their offices, that we were getting several students who were coming up for counseling mentioning that they had a family member at home who was an alcoholic or an addict, and that some of the challenges of being at college had to do with, you know, either their sadness or their fear or the challenges of worrying about somebody at home with a problem, or worrying about siblings who are still at home with a parent.
One university-wide email was all it took to get the word out.
And so at the end of last semester, I thought, gee, I wonder if there's a need out there. Maybe I should run a support group for students who are dealing with these issues. Maybe there's more of a need than we know. Why don't I just send out a global and see what happens?
The name of the group comes from the original Showtime series Shameless, about an alcoholic, drug-addicted family. Many students who come to college with a family member who suffers from alcoholism or addiction feel very alone in their situation. Most of their friends do not understand the unique challenges they face.
People who grow up in alcoholic families take on the shame of the addict or the alcoholic and carry that shame with them. And the idea of being shameless is a lofty but wonderful goal for people, because whose shame is it anyway?
Often there is a stigma and shame attached to individuals receiving counseling and support. But at Sacred Heart, that is not the case. It didn't take much promotion for the group to take off.
I had 10 people join the group within 48 hours, which is pretty remarkable. But they didn't just say, I'm interested. I actually got emails from students saying, thank you so much for offering this group. That we had to work to find a time that would work for all the people that responded. I do have 3 people on a waiting list for the group.
Students now have a safe, therapeutic support group to call their own.
They have a lot to share. They're actually educating each other and supporting each other. So the 60 minutes wasn't enough time, so we expanded it to a 90-minute group. And as I said, if they could stay longer, I think that they would.
If you or anyone you know would benefit from joining this support group, contact the Wellness Center for more information. This is Nicole Granito reporting for The Pulse.
How do Sacred Heart students spend their free time outside of the classroom? With over 60 student-run clubs and organizations offered, there are many choices to get involved in campus life. For more on a recent event allowing students to explore all of these options, here's Natalie Chiafari with the report.
College is a time to branch out, meet new people, and get involved. The Sacred Heart University Involvement Fair, otherwise known as SHUvolvement, is the perfect place for a student to do just that.
We love to see that our students want to get involved outside of the classroom. Part of your experience as a Sacred Heart student is making sure that you are learning inside the classroom and getting ready for your career, but also utilizing your outside experiences.
It is the second involvement fair of the academic year. Although the main focus is geared towards freshmen, this is an event for the entire SHU community. Students have the opportunity to explore academic, volunteer, and media-related clubs.
I mean, the whole point is to be able to enjoy your experience, and we want you to balance that with your academics as well.
For club members, this is an awesome way to interact with prospective students in person.
When you're having those one-on-one conversations, you can show that excitement, and you can show that we're not just here to put it on a resume. We're not just here to, spend some free time. We're here because we're excited about it and we want to make it a great opportunity for you.
The benefit of joining a club does add to one's resume, but for many others, it's just like joining a new family.
Presidents and e-boards and all members are here because they want to make sure that people realize, look at all these great opportunities that we're giving you and how excited we are for you to join our little family, because I definitely think that each group and organization has their own little family here at Sacred Heart.
So whether you're making ice cream with the chemistry club, or learning a foreign language with your peers,
they're really getting something out of it and hoping that all the names that we see on the sheets in there will then translate into going to meetings is the most rewarding part, knowing that you've found someone's interest and they're really going to kind of explore that throughout their time here.
With over 200 people that attended this semester's involvement fair, it is deemed to be a huge success. For now, I'm Natalie Chiafari, reporting for The Pulse.
Imagine a typical day at the beach. Warm and sunny, a perfect day for a swim. Now, imagine doing the same thing in the middle of winter. Find out after the break why members of the university community did just that this past weekend.
When you choose to become a part of our Pioneer family, you take pride in our philosophy.
Opportunities, knowledge,
leadership,
confidence, trust.
It's on us. To take care of each other on and off the field.
And if we see something, we say something. Sexual assault is a serious issue.
We cannot look past it, because it can happen to anyone at any time.
It's on us. To not sit back, to not keep quiet.
We speak up to keep each other safe.
Because in our Pioneer family,
We protect our friends.
We intervene when they need us most.
It's on us.
It's on Shu.
It's on you.
Welcome back to The Pulse. For a recap of some of this week's Sacred Heart athletic events, we have Joe Massaro with the Pioneer Roundup.
On the Pioneer Roundup today, we'll be covering men's and women's basketball, ice hockey, and tennis. This past weekend, there was a doubleheader held at the William H. Pitt Center. The men faced LIU Brooklyn, and the Pioneers recorded season high of 11 three-pointers, 24 assists, and 47 rebounds, and a total of 98 points in a 98-90 victory over LIU Brooklyn. The women faced St. Francis Brooklyn and were led to victory by redshirt junior Hannah Kimmel with 12 rebounds and 18 points on the day. Final scores, 63 Sacred Heart, 55 St. Francis Brooklyn. This Saturday, February 13th, both the men and women will face Central Connecticut State here at home. Switching from the court to the ice, men's ice hockey lost at home on Saturday 2-1 to Robert Morris University. While the women were away on the weekend, they were victorious against Johnson & Wales 3-1. The women face Newman at home tomorrow, while the men are off until their next away game at Canisius. And finally, today in tennis, the men's teams shut out St. Francis Brooklyn at Yale on Sunday afternoon 7-0 as they opened up Northeast Conference play. The women have yet to play this February, but both teams will play host to Drexel at a doubleheader on Saturday at Yale. Until next time, that's all for the Pioneer Roundup.
Thanks, Joe. This past weekend, approximately 100 people jumped into the frigid cold waters off the Connecticut shoreline. Would you run into a body of freezing cold water all in order to help raise funds for an organization? That is the purpose of a Polar Bear Plunge, a popular fundraising event held during the winter months throughout the country. Christian Colon brings us more on the story.
Sacred Heart and the University of New Haven took on the Polar Bear Plunge as they ran into freezing waters to support the Wounded Warrior Project.
It's for Wounded Warrior Project, a great foundation. But my boss Jim Pierce actually came to my office one day and basically was like, you know what would be cool? A polar bear plunge. And after that, we never looked back, and we just have been planning it ever since.
The National Legacy Group is a financial service firm that decided to sponsor the event. Because of their history with the Rugby Association, this event was a perfect opportunity to reach out to local universities and their rugby teams.
We do rugby sponsorship for Sacred Heart and University of New Haven, so we wanted to team them up against each other and do some friendly competition, and they honestly brought in so much money for the Wounded Warriors.
Reaching close to 6,000 views on Facebook, the use of social media was a big part of what made this plunge so successful.
We had a social media campaign. We were hashtag freezing for a reason for the Polar Bear Plunge today. And we had a Facebook competition for SHU and UNH rugby teams.
What other groups are part of today?
I know Delta Delta was here, my fraternity. I know we had some other Sacred Heart, Greek life members come, the rugby teams as well for both schools.
Are you going in the water today?
No, I was just here for support today.
Sacred Heart raised over $1,000, leading the funding campaign. UNH raised around $900. Together, they surpassed their original goal with over $2,500.
Well, we're here today because we want to raise money for the Wounded Warrior Project, and it's like a fun way to do this. I don't think a lot of girls on our team have actually done like a polar plunge, so this is like the first time for all of us, and it was like really fun and a good experience and a good cause.
How do you guys feel after going in the water?
I'm all right. I thought I was going to be a lot colder, but it's really not that bad.
How do you feel?
I've been shirtless for the past half hour. I am freezing. I'm cold.
Definitely
helping out the Wounded Warrior Project is definitely a huge thing that we'd like to do in the community.
Help a really good cause. That's like why I'm here. Help a really good cause, yeah.
I mean, they're out there doing their thing, and so the least we could do is just jump in the water.
Cold water temperatures did not stop participants from having a great time.
I could run like a 5K right now. It feels pretty good. It really was not that bad. It was scary getting in.
I think we did pretty well. I mean, I was numb all over, so I don't think a lot of us actually felt the cold. And then there were puppies that we played with, so that helped.
Exceeding fundraising goals and participation turnout goes to show how people can come together to support a good cause.
The beach is cleared out, but the polar weather continues. To find out more on how you can help, visit thewoundedwarriorproject.org. I'm Christian Colode, reporting for The Pulse.
You know, I find it amazing that people are willing to go to such an outrageous lengths to like support this amazing cause.
Yeah, I give them a lot of credit because after all this snow this weekend, these past couple weeks, the last thing I want to do is jump into freezing cold water.
Definitely.
And that's all the news we have for now. I'm Tamark Wilson.
And I'm Chelsea Montani. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, this is The Pulse.